All right. Fighting games are an early experiment at trying to actually do them.
Fighting games are killing children with laser eyes.
Yeah. So Injustice 1, it's kind of, I think it's considered NetherRealm's first real try at actually making a game that the competitive community would accept. Which, it doesn't feel like the typical forced competitive community game, but you can tell a little bit of the let's make stubby limbs so that players have to get in here.
Yeah.
And that's the pretty well inevitable thing you have to mention anytime you're talking about Injustice 1, Injustice 2, or Mortal Kombat X is like the limbs do not get stubbier than in this game, you know?
Yeah, you're either right next to people or you're not hitting them.
Yes.
Except if you possess a gun.
Yeah. I mean, Deathstroke not only has the gun, he's got the sword too. The sword's actually got decent reach.
Yeah, he does.
But then it's funny because then like Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and it could not have been a harder 180. Where it's like, hey, all right, fuck all that rushdown shit. Hard footsies. Let's rock. Oh man. The other notable thing that really changes how you look at Injustice and Mortal Kombat X, generally both franchises versus other 2D fighting games. The other 2D fighting games, generally speaking, have fast startups and fast recoveries on every move, and Injustice and Mortal Kombat tend not to.
Yeah, Injustice and Mortal Kombat feel like if you tried forcing Virtua Fighter to be a 2D game.
Yeah, Tekken as well.
Not even that, because Virtua Fighter felt more fluid.
Oh, it's again one of those things of Ed Boon wants to make a 3D fighting game, right?
Yeah.
So he mostly, he bounces a little bit on the idea of it being similar to a 2D fighting game, because the special moves are all very clearly 2D fighting game stuff. But in terms of the actual normals, it's very much balanced in the way of a 3D fighter.
Yeah, which doesn't really make sense unless he's going to add in KOF freaking side dodging. And not even full 3D, just like, the different planes from old SNK, which honestly I wouldn't mind.
Well, it's one of those things, I mean, Mortal Kombat 11 improving on neutral quite a bit means that several of the buttons do feel a lot better in Mortal Kombat 11. But in Mortal Kombat X, I say he, but obviously Ed Boon is not making these games all by himself.
At least as far as we know.
Yeah. Ed Boon, Mortal Kombat X, comparatively to Injustice 1 and 2, and of course, very comparatively to Mortal Kombat 11, is very much just all rushdown, all mix-ups, and that's what that game is about, you know?
Yeah.
So, the balance was just made around, there isn't going to be a fucking neutral. Either one player has the momentum or the other, you know?
Yeah.
Which is certainly a curious choice.
It's not what I would really prefer, but hey, it's a choice to be made. If it's on the table, someone will make it.
Yeah, it's not my kind of choice, as everyone knows I'm a footsies man, but I'm a real foot fetishist. But it does appeal to someone, because Maximilian Dude absolutely fucking adores Mortal Kombat X. But Maximilian Dude has also vocalized in the past that the only way he likes to play fighting games is Unga Bunga. So
yeah, for my thing, I play Rushdown, so people would assume, or at least I would assume that people would assume about me that since I play Rushdown, I would not mind Rushdown being the only playstyle, but I actually mind very much, because whenever games tend to just push all of the other playstyles back, it just means that there's a lot less variables about the games, and just it becomes boring a lot faster, is what I'm trying to say. So and that there's also the thing of sometimes you don't want to play Rushdown, sometimes you want to play footsies, sometimes you want to zone, and whenever we talk about fighting games, And whenever I think about comparing the fighting game we're currently talking about on this podcast to how I feel the genre is going right now, I just always reach the same conclusion that really my biggest issue with fighting games as a whole right now is just the removal of options. Because my biggest gripe with Dragon Ball Fighter Z isn't necessarily the characters, even though the roster is something like freaking 70% Goku. But there's many problems with that game as well. But my main biggest issue is that everyone's rushed down. There's like 2 zoning characters, but that's it. And
Eh,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm gonna let you finish.
But yeah, it's like this is happening to varying degrees with fighting games. With games like Injustice 1 and with Fighter Z, they got the worst end of the stick really with all this, because it's not the characters that really got less options, it's the whole game. So yeah, but even to the lesser extent with games like I want to say Street Fighter 5, but I'm actually not well versed enough about like if everyone's movesets in the older games to compare it. But with Guilty Gear Strive, that's one of the big things that I don't like about Guilty Gear Strive, because I'm fine with easier execution and with like making it more grounded and a bit slower. Like all of that is fine, but they're removing moves, and that's the thing that makes me angry.
Well, they're not just removing moves, but they're not really replacing them.
Yeah, that's another big issue. Yes.
Because you and me have been playing X2 quite a bit this past week. And between X2 and Ixard, a lot of characters lost a lot of moves, but they picked up different ones.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, Slayer just kind of lost moves.
Yeah, Slayer sort of just lost moves, but not too many. Only 2 variants of one move, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And Undertow started looking way less cool.
Yeah. But
well, everybody lost their EX move. That's one.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is a big thing. You are right.
That's a big thing for Slayer, because Slayer in X2 has a fucking instant launcher, and in Exard he does not.
I wish EX moves were still in Guilty Gear. They're a lot of fun. Even if sometimes you do get Slayer teleporting behind you and then uppercutting you in 1 frame, but hey, that's Slayer.
Yeah.
Like there's things to complain about with stuff like that from a freaking what's the word, balance, from a balance perspective. There's a good space for arguments there, but like sometimes you just have to like I feel like some of that can be waved away with lore, which is to say that of course Slayer is going to be very scary. He's the strongest character in the series. What the hell?
Oh.
like I feel like if you removed a lot of Slayer's tools, then it just wouldn't really convert to the gameplay how scary he actually is. Like the power levels also supposed to be shown in the freaking in the actual moves themselves, even if you are supposed to have a more or less level playing field.
Well, the thing is, Slayer. Not to turn this into a Guilty Gear lore cast, because it does turn into that sometimes. But Slayer, the thing is, Slayer isn't bothering. Like, he's playing with the guy. He's really just playing. True. And that's probably going to be what's happening with Nagoriyuki as well, considering he's got Slayer's exact same lose pose.
Yeah.
I assume Guilty Gear vampires are just invincible.
Basically, from the looks of it. But yeah. So, Injustice.
Injustice 1 is one of those cases where the game changed significantly between launch and between the end of its dev cycle. Because at launch, Superman was far and away the strongest character, easily. Because fucking heat vision spam.
Yeah.
The first Evo Top 8, Evo 2013 for Injustice, was won by a Superman player. And it's one of the funniest damn things. Because if you watch those matches, At one point, the commentators, after seeing Superman win in the dumbest way possible, spamming lasers, they just say, "What are we gonna tell new players?"
Yeah,
So,
they had a point.
over the course of the following year, Superman got nerfed into the dirt. While by no means he is not a trash character, but he is now mid-tier. But NetherRealm being NetherRealm, the new God tier was simply the DLC character.
Yeah.
And it's always
yeah.
And it's always the last DLC characters because Warner Brothers isn't going to allow NetherRealm to keep patching the game after the last DLC is released because they aren't making money anymore.
Yeah. So say goodbye to Superman and say hello to Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. The nice thing is Martian Manhunter is not like a good Martian Manhunter is not nearly as annoying to play against as a good Superman back in 2013.
Yeah, and I've got to assume a good Martian Manhunter, even right now, would have to put in more effort to actually get the damage out.
Yeah. Like, Martian Manhunter has one or two zoning tools, and neither of them are as spammable as Superman's. Like Heat Vision. Because he's got the telekinetic thing and he's got the little overhead thing. The overhead thing has a massive startup, and the little telekinetic burst thing has also got a big startup, but its key thing is that it's got a shit ton of blocks done.
Yeah. Doesn't it also have like a fixed distance?
It does, yes. Both of the moves do. I don't think Martian Manhunter has any projectiles that are like straight up Hadoken projectiles.
Well, he has a Venom Ball.
Venom Ball?
That's the best way I can put it. He has a like, I don't know what to call it. It's like a ball of electricity that he sends out that goes through the enemy, and then after a couple of seconds blows up.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah, you could probably do some good set play with that, but I wasn't able to figure that shit out because I don't play set play.
Ha! So if there's one thing that's inevitable to talk about with Injustice, it's that while at the high level zoning isn't that strong, at the low and mid levels zoning is infamously strong in NetherRealm games because in Injustice games, not so much in Mortal Kombat, but Injustice games because they keep insisting on adding a fucking character with a gun.
I mean, it's less. The issue is less the character with the gun themselves. It's that you don't have a way to answer. You don't have a Scorpion teleport usually in these games.
Most characters lack a way to just get in through projectiles. And the thing is, opposite zoners, NetherRealm is the only. It feels like the only fucking company that doesn't have projectiles clash.
Ah, yeah, that is annoying. I don't like that. I don't know why that annoys me so much, but it does.
Because it means zoning wars look positively fucking stupid. Because Deadshot will fire his pistol shot and like Dr. Fate throws an energy ball and they both get hit and look like idiots. Like, as opposed to, Ryu and Ken throwing Hadokens at each other, they just keep throwing them and they clash,
Yeah.
And I believe the only unique thing Sub-Zero had to him in Injustice 2 was he had the only projectile in NetherRealm history that crushes projectiles.
It was Ice Clone.
Yeah. The thing is, NetherRealm by now knows, like, okay, we can't do this. Partly, they just nerfed Deadshot into the dirt, so he was completely useless in Injustice 2, which is really funny because he's terrible at anything else other than zoning, and they nerfed his zoning into the ground. So now Deadshot can do fucking nothing.
That shit is there to fill the roster slot.
Yeah. And Mortal Kombat 11, the gun character, as it were, Aaron Black, has a mechanic where he has to fucking keep reloading the gun. And if you reload at the wrong time, you eat shit.
Yeah, and I feel like the reload mechanic is fine because other games also do that, like with Eltnum in Uniclear. Yes. But the thing is, like, from what I remember, like, I didn't play a lot of MK11, and it was a while ago when I did play it, so I may be misremembering shit, but from what I remember, Aaron Black didn't really have a good means to keep people away while he reloads, and that's the big issue.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to sacrifice Oki. Like, zoning is way less aggressive in Mortal Kombat 11. With that said, there's a lot of fucking zoners on that roster, because that's the only way NetherRealm knows to do footsies. Yeah. But Injustice 1 is one that, like, we can shit on the gameplay a fair bit, because you and me are both used to Japanese fighting games that do things very differently.
I mean, a lot of the things I dislike are just like things of preference, or why the hell is there a cutscene in the middle of my fight scene? Like,
good thing supers aren't viable.
Yeah, because like that's the big thing. My biggest gripe with the game, I think. Well, I don't know. I keep saying that things are my biggest gripe, but I don't even know what my biggest gripe is, because I didn't give it a big, like, I didn't give it the time of thought, really. I just have a list of things that I disliked, but a lot of them are either things that I just prefer would be different, but that doesn't really change the game either way, or the freaking scene transition cutscenes.
One thing I should note is that Injustice has not got the time that other fighting games have. We were only able to spend a week on Injustice 1, and it's been a very hectic week. I mean, as we're doing this video, the U.S. election is still going on, so it's been kind of a mess.
Honestly, with what's going with all the shit that's going on, the U.S. election might be going on when the video comes out.
Yes, there's actually a very good chance that will be the case. So yeah, Injustice 1 is not one we got to spend as much time with, but at the same time, Injustice 1 is not the deepest fighting game in the universe. So
yeah,
and the majority of Injustice 1's content is in single player, which, like, I tend not to touch too much.
yeah, I'm a single player guy, and I played through the story mode. Not this time, but I played through the story mode at least once. So,
which that's always the thing about the praise about NetherRealm. There's plenty of single player content.
I don't know. Like the story mode, yeah, there is a good amount of single player content in that. There are the towers, which are just MK towers, but at least is some programming had to go into that to at least change context and shit. And then you have I don't even remember what the Star Labs are. Are they just like combo trials?
Mini games.
Ah, right. I didn't even check them out because I thought that they were just like concept art.
When the game launched, the original version, there was a lot of stuff you would do to just get the star cards or whatever and unlock extra costumes. But one of the amusing things about how NetherRealm handles things is that this being the Ultimate Edition, you don't have to unlock anything. Everything starts unlocked. So you do lose the motivation to play through a lot of the single-player content.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I recognize that the Ultimate Edition partially exists just to make tournament runners' lives easier,
Yeah.
Because there definitely was, that initial period before the Ultimate Edition released, and well, if you wanted to play with Bane's Nightfall costume or Lex Luthor's Kryptonite armor costume, get fucked, because the tournament runner ain't gonna go to that trouble.
If you will play as Shinnok, just grind him out, forehead.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it was with Cyber Sub-Zero and Quan Chi back in Mortal Kombat 9. But Mortal Kombat X, they just finally went and were like, okay, fuck it, Shinnok DLC. Pay now to get the unlockable character at the end of the story mode. And that's just what they've done with every game now.
Yeah.
Oh man, it'll never be funnier to me than that one guy who mained Quan Chi in Mortal Kombat 9. And so every tournament he went to, he had to go to the event early to play through on every Xbox they're going to use, play through the story mode, speed run it on every console to unlock Quan Chi. because most tournament runners were too fucking lazy to do it them damn selves. Oh boy, that cracks me up. I don't know if it cracks anyone else up, but for me, that's just really funny. A guy being so dedicated to his main that he fucking learns to speed run Mortal Kombat 9 and does it multiple times before every tournament. That's dedication, man. That's dedication, and that's dedication you shouldn't have to do.
Yeah.
Because the fucking tournament organizer should have done that. Oh, God. I don't know how tournaments are for some games, like especially like way back when like Smash Melee had so many unlockable characters, or Mortal Kombat Deception. Like I assume the tournament organizers couldn't be so fucking lazy as to have half the roster locked, you know?
Who knows? Like, if this was around like 2005, then maybe the TOs just legitimately brought in their memory cards with all of the characters unlocked or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. I have to assume there were some poverty setups back then, you know?
Yeah.
So with Injustice 1, I do think one thing we should talk about, character designs. There are some pretty weak ones here, aren't there?
Raven is the troll face meme. Just
if we want to talk about, that's not a design problem, that's a graphics problem. That's NetherRealm's face modelers at that time in history did not understand how to model women's faces problem.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's wind pose, she does not look great.
Like in Raven's regime costume, I'm pretty sure you could cut freaking diamonds with her chin, and it's ridiculous.
Yes, there is definitely some big chin action going on with the ladies in Injustice 1. Batgirl and Harley Quinn lesser so, but one definitely kind of gets the feeling with Wonder Woman and Raven that they're like, well, Wonder Woman's a bit more of a mature woman, so we should make her look more mature. Give her a giant chin. What?
Make her Joe Chin.
And Raven, Raven and Injustice.
So yeah, Raven is a demon, and obviously demons all have large chins.
So here's something about Raven. In all of the trailers during the build-up to Injustice 1, Raven had her classic Tara Strong voice.
Oh.
Yeah, the original Teen Titans voice.
What?
Completely unchanged.
Why did they recast her then?
They didn't recast her. When the game released, they put a modifier on Tara Strong's voice.
Oh.
Every single line Raven says in that game, Tara Strong recorded it in the original Raven voice, tone, and delivery, and they just threw the demon modifier on there afterwards. At some point between over the course of like probably a month, because all the trailers before release had her use the normal Raven voice, but then in the release she used demon voice. At some point, someone in there was like, fucking throw the demon voice in there. And I bet you what happened was, in the story mode, Raven's one of the bad guys. She's part of the regime, right?
Yeah.
And someone was going through story mode and went, Raven doesn't make for an intimidating villain when she has the voice of a little girl. We should throw a modifier on her voice when she's in the regime form to make her more intimidating and make it clear that she's given into Trigon. And they got lazy and just made it where every version of Raven has that voice modifier. Because at launch, the only character at launch who had a difference in behavior between costumes was Superman. And Superman, here's the other thing. You know Regime Superman's wind pose, right? Where he forces the opponent to kneel before him?
Yeah.
In the early trailers, regular costume Superman used that wind pose.
Oh.
But enough people complained that they changed it so that regular costume Superman does the, flies out above Earth and hears someone crying for help.
Yeah.
So I bet you what it is initially there were just no plans to have the regime and regular costumes behave differently. And if the regime guy was dickish enough, they just made the regular guy dickish.
Regime Superman's win pose was killing all of the children in a freaking 30-mile radius.
Yeah. Honestly, I think at one point in development, they probably just straight up didn't plan to have the main universe DC characters even appear. Like, especially considering in Injustice 2, they're entirely gone. In Injustice 2, it is only the regime universe.
Yeah.
Like, in Injustice 2, you have to play evil Superman. You can't play good Superman. Only evil Superman. Same for evil Wonder Woman, which is a problem, because evil Wonder Woman is a fucking dick.
But
Like,
she's also Captain Amazonia.
Yeah. If we wanted to complain about Injustice's story, I could go on for hours, but I'm a comic book nerd, you know?
I've actually read the first 2 years of the Injustice. Actually, maybe the first 3 years of the Injustice comic.
The comic does some things right.
Some of them. Not too much, but some of them. Was it Injustice that I'm freaking mixing things up. Was it Injustice that had Harley name Arrow's Batcave the Quiver?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
That was cool. That's something that they should put in for normal Green Arrow. Like Green Arrow and Black Canary were good in the Injustice universe in that they were very enjoyable characters, and then they died.
Injustice 2 is funny because they just straight up have Dr. Fate be like, I feel sorry for you, Dinah, so I'm going to go get another universe's Oliver.
Yeah.
Like, he finds the one universe where Dinah is the one who got killed instead, and he just takes the Oliver from that universe.
Yeah, he finds a universe where Oliver learned how to hit a guy in the air after spinning his bow.
Yeah. Oh, man. What was he? Oh, if we wanted to talk about stupidity, like Superman flipping a fucking gasket is like, whatever. There are some alternate universe comics where Superman has horrible things happen and he just keeps on trucking, but whatever. We'll go with the idea that Superman is this close to insanity and he is the perfect victim for Joker's whole, one step away from insanity thing. And I gotta admit, Superman impaling Joker on his arm is kind of a decent iconic shot.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is the bigger problem for me because Wonder Woman never has any reason or explanation why she goes past shit.
Yeah, like Superman. I don't like Superman. We've discussed this before. I think Superman is lame a lot of the times, but I just feel like I haven't read the right Superman comics for me to actually like him. So
I don't blame you for thinking Superman's lame because they've made him lame in all the movies for the past 20 years.
Yeah, in all of the movies, in all of the cartoons, in like most other media appearances, it's the comics where he may have had good reigns since then, but I don't know. But yeah, so but still, Superman killing Joker, I understand, I can sympathize, or something. I don't know. I can see that even like. There's this thing with the edgier takes on characters where you have to go, well, okay, I suppose Superman wouldn't really kill Joker because that's not how Superman is inherently made as a character, but let's just say that this Superman is. And in that case, I can understand why he would kill Joker. It's the enslaving all of humanity and killing a child that seems a bit too far-fetched for me. Like,
yeah. Oh, man. And the part where Plastic Man points out they got Sinestro hanging with him, and he just goes, Sinestro's name is literally Sinister, idiots. He could not be more evil looking if he tried. Look at that fucking mustache.
Plastic Man should have been in the game. One of them.
They have to put Plastic Man in Injustice 3. He's one of the biggest characters that hasn't been put in yet.
Alright, we have a team character. Okay, actually I know that would work better with Blue Beetle, but he's already a separate character. Shit. Because I was going to suggest Plastic Man and Booster Gold, but then I thought about it, and that's a Blue Beetle team up.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
no idea if Ted Kord is supposed to still be alive in the Injustice universe. If he
I
of all
forget.
people lived, that'd be funny.
Yeah. Really, this is the thing. Like, I like Marvel's comics better because the older ones are usually better written than DC's. But I like DC's characters better, or at least I remember
Yeah.
more of them. So,
Ha!
uh,
Uh,
yeah.
oh man. Yeah, and we're not gonna even talk about Dick Grayson dying by falling over.
I was just about to talk about that. How do you kill Dick Grayson in the lamest way possible? He just, like, I don't even fully remember. Doesn't he just, like, trip and fall on his nightstick that Damien is holding out or something?
No, it's worse than that. Damien, I think, accidentally bounces one of Dick's nightsticks. It bounces off a wall, bings Dick right in between the eyes, and Dick falls over and his neck falls on a pebble and shatters instantly.
Boy.
And it's like, okay, Damien killing Dick on accident being the beginning of his thing of villainy is like, sure, whatever. Like, if you're gonna try for stuff like this, might as well go with it, give that a shot. But the trouble is that you had the character who is quite possibly the most agile character in the entire DC universe, a character whose superpower might as well be being a fucking circus acrobat, die by falling over.
I'm pretty sure Dick's superpower is being a circus acrobat.
Yeah. It's his only superpower greater than his great ass.
Yeah.
Oh man. Discord cut off the ass part because it knew what was coming.
Yeah, you clipped the mic too hard.
I know. Discord gets brutal whenever I get too loud.
Yeah. What was I going to even bring up? I forget, because the story, like, the story.
Why did they kill so many fucking characters?
Yeah. Oh, I know what I wanted to bring up.
Well, do you want to bring up what I want to bring up?
Probably not. I was going to bring up how they really missed out on not bringing in Beast Boy, and they really should have just made a game with all of the Teen Titans in it. But
ah man, soon asks for Beast Boy all the time, but I think he'd be too hard on the tech, you know.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't like. I feel like they could make him work with Shang Tsung magic. Like
yeah, maybe.
Like he doesn't actually turn into those animals. He just has like attacks where he turns. It's the animations where he turns into animals. It's not different stances.
Yeah, he'd definitely do that. I think they'd have to put like a poof of smoke though, because it might look weird seeing him actually like. You remember in the Teen Titans show, we never see him on screen turn into an animal. It's just the camera pans away. Oh, he's a monkey now.
Yeah.
Because it'd be too weird to see him turn into a fucking rhino, you know?
They should do like a blocky animation for him turning into animals and then just put the Transformers noise on it.
Oh man. Okay, so here's the fighter everyone wants and no one's gonna get. Alfred after taking the super pill.
Yes. That speaking of good things that are actually really good about the story, or at least the comics, Alfred. I want the super wrestler Alfred in the actual continuity now. Like he's still a badass in the normal continuity, but like make him be able to break Superman's spine, and then
Oh, did you see when the comics did an alternate universe, an alternate Injustice universe, where they stopped Joker from bombing Metropolis?
I'm not sure. I remember the build up to it, but I don't know if I actually saw the payoff.
It was awesome. It was they managed to get the bomb, they get the nuke, and they defuse it, and they get Joker, and Batman is driving with Joker in the Batmobile to GCPD, right?
Yeah.
And all the way, Batman is just shutting up, and Joker's like, "Oh, I liked playing with Superman this time. Oh, but it's going to be so much better when that son of his is born. You wouldn't believe the sound babies make when you stat." And then Batman, in a singular motion, turns over from the steering wheel, reaches out both hands, snaps Joker's neck, and then smashes his face into the side of the Batmobile.
Nice.
And he just shows up to Gordon and, Bullock and pulls Joker's corpse out of the Batmobile and says, "I'd like to report a murder." And it cuts to Bruce Wayne in prison. And Superman's like, "Hey man, I hear you. If you get good behavior, they'll let you out in 2 years because you killed a guy who really deserved it." And Bruce says, "Oh, I'm not behaving good in here at all, brother." Yeah, that may be a bit of a kid in a candy store situation there, huh?
Yeah.
"I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me."
All of the asylum inhabitants break out of GCPD just so they don't have to be next to Batman anymore.
You'd have the fucking Ralph image from Simpsons, but it's like 30 different criminals on the bus, all going in sequence. Haha, I'm in danger.
They made Batman really overpowered.
Yeah. Admittedly, when it's in an environment where no one has access to resources or powers, like, yeah, Batman's going to win every time because, Kung Fu Master and all that shit. But
yeah.
yeah, when Injustice 2 ends on a just straight up 1v1 fight of Batman versus Superman and Batman wins, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember if the pills are probably a thing of the first game, but like, even if they take the pills, medicine goes through your body. It stops working after a while. Batman would die. Like, unless they're like constantly making freaking Superman pills. I don't see how Batman would be able to live.
Well, it'd be funny if Batman developed an addiction.
Yeah.
I need my super pills, man. I need my super pills. Yeah, I think they outright said at one point that the regime just started mass producing the damn things and just Batman stole a shit ton of them. And now that the regime ain't a thing, they kept up the production just so Batman and Harley can still be super soldiers.
Yeah, you're right. I don't remember the super soldiers part, but I do remember that the whole Superman started mass producing the pills so that he can give it to his soldiers, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and Damian.
And Damian.
Yeah. Damian is so funny as the odd man out in the regime. Everyone else very clearly...
I'm surprised he's not dead. He's underage. And next to Superman.
Yeah. So Superman's child kill radius just triggers and Damian's head flies off.
Yeah.
It looks like a kill in Among Us, right? Where the upper half just explodes.
I don't watch Among Us videos, so I don't know.
Man. So there's our talk about the story, I guess. Let's talk about the roster. All right, so this is going to be a bit of an easy one. If you could remove one character from the game, who would you remove?
I don't know.
Oh, I felt Superman would be an easy answer.
I mean, he's kind of vital to the plot.
Yeah, I guess so. It'd be like removing fucking Ryu from Street Fighter.
No, it would be like removing Bison, like...
They did remove Bison from Street Fighter in 2 games.
True. I did forget about that.
He may not be there for 6. He's probably going to be a final DLC character for 6, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Street Fighter 6 doesn't add Bison until the end of the dev cycle, and even then it's going to be Phantom Bison.
What if Bison is in the game, but he's can be stand?
Shut up, that'd be awesome.
Yes, it would be.
What if they add like a variation system? Because they're very clearly already intent on having some degree of variation system. The V system is already close to it. What if Cammy can choose between a Cammy variation and a Bison variation?
I wouldn't mind that, yeah.
Where she loses like half of her special moves, but picks up the Psycho Crusher and the knee press.
Ah, so DiCaprio.
Yeah. Well, DiCapri's not bison enough. DiCapri. Have you ever played DiCapri?
Yeah, I have. I actually prefer her to Cammy.
That's a fair assumption. But she's like very much her own character, you know? She's not similar to anyone, not even
Yeah,
Cammy.
I don't know. I'd say she's similar to Bison enough that you can see that there's a story connection, but she has her own moves enough that she stands alone.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, like yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like I don't know who I'd remove because most of there's a part of the characters that I just straight up like, and there's a part of the characters that I just don't mind, and that's basically it. There's no one that I really think like Scorpion doesn't fit in, but Scorpion is basically the only character I can play, so I won't say remove him.
Oh, you know what I'll say?
Yeah.
Instead of remove a character, remove a move.
A move.
I'm gonna go with Zod's air Hadoken. Because it entirely delegitimizes Lex Luthor and makes him a non-viable pick.
Yeah, I'll agree with that because I don't remember any that particularly made me angry. Instead of removal, give Lobo more freaking combo possibilities.
No, you know what? I can think of one that you'd probably have like as a good candidate.
Yeah.
Deathstroke's pistols. Because the rifle has enough startup that you can tell it's coming on, but the pistols are a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Deathstroke. You exist, Slade.
If there's one archetype that you feel is missing from the roster, what is it? Other than the very obvious missing Dalsim, right?
Yeah. I mean, Deathstroke is Dalsim.
Oh.
Only his advantages are not. Deathstroke is Rayman Dalsim.
Martian Manhunter can temporarily turn into Dalsim. Just
yeah,
a very
a
stubby Dalsim, but a Dalsim nonetheless.
True. I don't know. I guess I was going to say, I guess there's no real bruiser type characters like Soul Bad Guy who would be able to have some rushdown capabilities, but also do command grabs. Shit, I play Lobo. Like, he's literally Soul Bad Guy, but with freaking white face paint. Like, I guess there's not really a straight Shoto that I can think of.
Ooh, Superman's a Shoto. I think Superman's a Shoto.
I didn't play Superman, so I wouldn't know.
He's got the heat vision as his Hado. He's got a Shoryuken. He's one of the only characters that has a Shoryuken. And he's got the Superman punch as a Tatsu.
Yeah. Actually, now I think about it, Catwoman is a Shoto.
Really?
Yeah, Barbara she can throw her batarang things, the knuckle dusters, as a projectile. She has an actual Shoryuken that she can cancel out of and just appear on the ground. And she has enough air move. Like she has a way to get in. I don't remember which one exactly, but she does have a move to get in.
Yeah, her little boxing beast rush down.
Yeah.
Oh, what else? Oh, okay. Well, this one's kind of more of a story question of what DC character do you like. If you could have one character added to the game. No, you know what? Let's do two. Okay, the first one is, what DC Comics character would you add to the game if you could?
Booster Gold.
Okay, that's a good pick. I might go for that one too. But let's have an alternative question.
Yeah.
Pick any crossover character.
Just any crossover character?
Yeah.
I
feel like Rugal Bernstein actually has the same amount of special moves as most Injustice characters do.
I'm gonna go with the mix-up. I think Negan. I think Negan would fit very well into this universe.
Negan. Well, he wouldn't look too weird fighting Batman, but
yeah. Oh bloody hell! The thing is, they could just add Negan as a costume for Joker, and it would mostly work.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Who was the stupid little dinosaur from Tekken 3?
Gone.
Gone, sure. Or Servbot. If we want to go down the stupid route, let's go there.
I mean, as a legitimate crossover character, I don't know who would really fit into stuff like this. That I know. Chrysalid. No, not Chrysalid. That's an SNK character. Uh, I forget his name. The guy that the Spawn dude designed for Soul Calibur.
Necrid?
Yeah, Necrid.
Ha!
Bless you.
Thank you. Necrid doesn't fit into anything. Shut up.
Necrid might fit into Spawn. I didn't read enough Spawn to actually know.
I love Necrid, but Necrid is so hilariously out of place in Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
It is such a blatant case of like, well, we got Todd McFarlane, but we can't control him. He's just going nuts.
Okay.
For a second there, when you said Chrysalid, I was like, oh yeah, let's choose not a significant SNK boss. Let's choose one of the minor ones.
Yeah. Let's choose the one that's actually just a clone, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's just an evil K-Dash clone. Man, my favorite Injustice crossover character, Shion.
Ash.
Yeah.
I mean,
a Charge character would not fit in NetherRealm.
No, it wouldn't. Oh no, I just had to thought, what if they kept the charge inputs, but like, or rather, they kept the motions for the charge, but not the inputs, so you could just press stab and you get an instant freaking sonic boom. Or whatever, the freaking back to forward.
Oh god, so you mean Street Fighter 2 AI Guile?
Yes.
Who are we kidding? He doesn't even have to press back.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a really interesting thing to see, especially if they made it so that freaking the meter burn system allows you to cancel moves into each other. Or like with the bounce shit. Like imagine you your freaking Ash Crimson, you do whatever the flash kick equivalent is. You bounce cancel into another flash kick.
Ha!
50%.
Yeah! High quality combos. Speaking of, do we want to talk about some of the brokenness of some Injustice 1 characters?
I mean, we could, most certainly, yes. So,
yeah,
Zod.
Yeah, Zod is here. Zod entirely invalidates Lex Luthor. For those who don't know, it is the only 8-1 matchup on the entire roster. It should honestly be 9-0, but I don't think that they can go 9-0.
I mean,
statistically speaking,
Luthor might get a hit in, so
yeah,
we can't call it a straight up pipe.
So, if Zod has an air projectile that when he throws it out, it immediately returns him back to the ground. And if he tiger knees or is just quick enough on the jump, he can instantly throw that Hado out as soon as he jumps. And there's only one character on the roster whose hitbox is big enough that will get hit by it, though. Lex Luthor's hitbox is so fucking big that even while he's just standing on the ground, he'll get hit. Which is a problem, because Lex Luthor was himself designed to be kind of a zoner, Oki-based character. So, Lex Luthor does not have ways to get in. And this game does not have super jumps, so you can't super jump over the Hados. Lex Luthor's hitbox is so big that if he jumps, even at the peak of his jump, even at the crest, his feet will still get hit by the Hado. So he has to crouch. A proper Zod player can mix grounded fireballs and air fireballs so that even a crouching Lex Luthor still has to take chip from the grounded fireballs while he crouches under the high fireballs. And there's no fucking crouch walk either. You're not playing SF5 Guile or Guilty Gear Faust. You're playing fucking Lex Luthor. If he's crouching, he's not moving.
But
And none of Lex Luthor's zoning tools are themselves fast enough to match Zod's, because Zod is a DLC character.
but hey, Luthor has the armor he can give himself that takes like 5 fireballs to get started.
Yes. Well, the thing is, it's the funny thing. Lex Luthor is actually viable against anyone else on the roster. That trait is actually pretty good because the longer he holds the button, the more armor frames he gets, or the more armor hits he gets, actually. And he can get to the point where he can have like 3 to 5, say, hits of armor, which is madness. Like he's an Oki. Lex Luthor is this game's Milia Rage. He is the Oki beast. But it doesn't matter if you're going up against a character you can't even get in on, you know?
Yeah.
And the amount of...
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right.
I was going to move on to something else.
So what if we change nothing about the matchup, but Lex Luthor can now do the Shiva pounce?
That would actually kind of work. The only trouble is Zod recovers from his air fireball fast enough that I think he'd be able to make it a fireball trap.
Yeah.
Which, again, would not work on any character except Lex Luthor. It must feel good, though, for the Solomon Grundy, Doomsday, and Bane players, because they're just short enough to make it under. So, breathe a sigh of relief there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. If we want to talk about some other broken shit, how about Unblockables, huh?
Yeah, they're yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say they're pretty easy to get set up.
Yeah. Oki pressure is scary in this game. Lex Luthor just outright has an unblockable. It's not anything else. It's just an unblockable. His little satellite laser thing.
Yeah, there's the space lasers from Raw.
I have to assume that it misses on... that the opponent is invincible to it on Wake Up, because I think it comes out fast enough that Lex can set up an infinite loop of as soon as the opponent gets down, set up the laser. So I have to assume the opponent's invincible to it when they get up. However, there are 2 characters that I can think of that have unblockables that are not literal direct unblockables, that are not straight unblockables, but forced ones, right?
Yeah.
Joker is one of them. Joker can put down teeth. Joker can also do overheads.
That's all Joker can do.
That's pretty well the only piece of Joker's kit there is. Yes, exactly. But it's enough of a piece of kit that Joker is B tier instead of F tier. Well, Joker is D tier instead of F tier, you know?
Yeah.
And Doomsday, along similar lines, has a move that instantly that will honestly 1 frame hit overhead and then the next frame hit low. Did you ever get to play Doomsday?
I did play Doomsday, but I don't remember too much of it.
It's his little overhead smash that he has on the forward Hadoken 2.
Oh.
That instantly goes from overhead to low.
Why?
If he meter burn... because he's fucking Doomsday, I guess.
He's stealing chairs.
I should know that as funny and fitting as it is, when the game launched, Doomsday was considered the only character that could take on Superman. Which is really funny considering that character's role in the comics.
Am I mixing up my comic story? Is Doomsday the one that steals the chairs?
Doomsday's the guy who killed Superman.
Yeah, I know that, but I remember there being this freaking big existential threats that at one point was just written to steal chairs from random people.
Oh no, that's
Darkseid. That's Darkseid, yeah.
Darkseid was very infamous for the comic where Mary Marvel comes home to her apartment one day and Darkseid's just lounging on her couch and she's like, "What the fuck?" And Darkseid, being Darkseid, is like, "Darkseid is." And it's just him being him, you know.
Yeah.
There used to be a guy on the forum, Magic Murder Bag, who is not around anymore, but his avatar for the longest time was Darkseid sitting down on a couch. And he labeled it underneath. His signature was, yeah, that's Darkseid sitting on a couch. Even evil has to take a rest sometimes.
Yeah, I remember that, I think.
So Doomsday's there, and here's the other thing. Even if your opponent figures out to do the overhead and then immediately block low, the thing is, if you meter burn it, he only hits low.
Oh,
He hits low where he'd hit overhead.
nice.
So and if that meter burned one connects, it's a pop-up for a full combo.
Great.
Yep. And that's his highest damaging special move. Here's another thing I don't know if you noticed with Doomsday. You know the move where he jumps off screen and then comes back down?
Yeah.
Did you notice that's unblockable?
No?
Here's the other thing. If he meter burns, it tracks.
Nice.
If Doomsday is at full screen distance and does that meter burn, it does not matter where you run.
Oh, Midway. You don't change.
Like, holy shit. With NetherRealm, it is such one way or the other. Either they are a zoner and they are the most brutal zoner ever, or they are rushdown and they are the most brutal rushdown ever. Did I mention Doomsday's got the second fastest dash in the game after Flash?
What?
Yeah, he can dash full screen in under a second.
Nice.
Doomsday is fucking disgusting in this game. There's a reason that he's A tier. Like, the only ones better are Martian Manhunter. Who else was at the S tier? Martian Manhunter, Zod, I want to say... Well, let me pull up the tiers. Oh, you know what? We posted the tiers in the FGA. Let me just look at that.
Yeah, I'm searching for that too.
Yeah, it's up there. Okay, S tier is Martian Manhunter, Zod, Aquaman, and Flash. I'm a bit surprised by Aquaman. He gets shut down by zoners real hard, but I guess him being such a good rushdown character, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Have you seen...
Yeah.
Have you seen how much damage he gets off of the Trident Rush if he meter burns it and dashes in?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
It's like 30% off one goddamn special move.
Yeah, I tried setting up a combo with that, but turns out not easy.
No.
Actually, people are really bouncy in the air. So
Yeah. Oh man, that's one move where you got to keep him on the ground. But Aquaman doesn't have a restand, does he?
I don't think so. No. So
One of the only characters in this game that doesn't.
Yeah. So the one real way that I figured out a good damaging combo with him was basically just a normal get links into just put summon a large pitchfork up their ass, and that's one of Aquaman's special moves. I don't remember which one exactly, but that and while people are jumping up into the air because their ass hurts, you just shoot them with the trident.
Yeah.
I think I think that also does 30% damage.
Aquaman's a funny one because he has some zoning tools, but his zoning tools are pretty much there to stop zoners from zoning.
Yeah.
You stop that. Let me get in. Oh, man. Green Lantern C tier? I remember he was one of the only characters who was considered good at launch.
Oh.
It's funny looking at this tier list. Like, how is Bane at the top of the A tier? I don't get that.
He has a pretty good... From what I remember, he was pretty good about linking his grabs together.
Oh, you know what? You are right, yeah. And I should note, fucking Solomon Grundy sitting at the bottom of the D tier, almost F tier. Which I was wrong earlier. Apparently Joker is not only F tier, he's FF tier. So I guess Joker's on fire. Yeah, he failed twice. Joker is only better than Ares. That's hilarious. So
Ares has 4 Fs.
Solomon Grundy, who is sitting at the very bottom of the viable character list, and yet when you and me labbed him, we were able to figure out a fucking 70% combo with him.
Yeah, I mean, it required a lot of setting shit up, which probably wouldn't be able to be set up during a normal match. But hey, if the moons align, all of the moons, then you can get a 70% combo off of Solomon Grundy, or with him, I guess.
Man, it was a lot of setup, but at the same time, in hindsight, it's not as much setup as you would expect for 70%.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 chunks of meter, get the attack buff rolling, which is permanent, so all you have to do is do that at the start of the match, and get the Swamp Stink going. And then after that, he only needs a jab. He only needs a jab to start the combo.
Yeah.
So I guess like other characters can just keep Grundy out so hard that he just never gets the shot, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that being an issue.
It's the Iron Man in Marvel. It's the Iron Man in Marvel 2 problem. Like, Iron Man, by all means, wins any match the moment he connects that hit because the Infinite is so easy. But Iron Man's not considered top tier because he has trouble actually starting the Infinite, you know?
Yeah.
Fighting games are funny like that.
So yeah, Scorpion has a Scorpion has a possibility to link not 1 but 2 teleports together because it's Scorpion.
Yeah. It and Spear are the only things he's had since Mortal Kombat 1.
That is the most like stupid ass NetherRealm thing that I remember their games for. How a freaking jumping kick always is cancelable into teleport. You just literally need a jumping light kick and a teleport.
Ha!
That's all the character needs. You can do it with anyone. Shit, that whole setup works so well that it's possible in Guilty Gear Strive. You can do a jumping kick with Chip Zenith and then cancel it to Alpha Blade, which now goes through the enemy. And if you time it right, if you did it just good, then you can do a combo off of it. I don't know if a good enough combo because it's been freaking half a year since we played the game, but you know.
Ha! Oh man.
That is just one of the big NetherRealmisms for me now. Just freaking jumping kick, teleport. That's how you start the combo. Or even if it's not how you start the combo, it is a way to put filler into the combo, and people will just basically remain in the air.
Ha! It's never gonna get teleportier than Mortal Kombat 9, though. Half the fucking roster had teleports in Mortal Kombat 9, by the way.
Yeah.
Alright, if there's any one system mechanic, universal mechanic, you would add to Injustice 1 to improve it, what would it be?
I could go with the cheap answer and say Roman cancels because their implementation of them is not good, but that's actually that's it. You go ahead.
No, you finish your thought. I was going to go on another thing.
Because I was going to say that's actually a really good question because I would say burst because burst is my default go-to mechanic that basically any fighting game that isn't Street Fighter should have, or like if you have large rushdown, if you want to have large rushdown, then you should have burst as well. But bless you, that wouldn't work with Injustice because burst doesn't work against projectiles. I mean it does, but it's kind of wasted.
Well, there is kind of burst in Injustice because there's the clashes. Remember?
I hated them. Yes.
Yeah, sending you into a gambling minigame is very, very weird. But at the end of the day, that's what they do.
Before my PS4's memory got wiped, I had a recording of when I initially started playing Injustice of it was a clash between Luther and Batman, and Luther says like a line about how he'll kill Batman, and it cuts to Batman, and I swear it just played a baby noise.
What?
Yes, I don't know what happened, but something got garbled up with Batman's lines, and it just made a baby noise.
I mean, NetherRealm always loves their weird Easter eggs like that. I remember Mortal Kombat X, Ermac had a special intro against, I want to say Cassie, where where Ermac comes in and says his usual line that he says to fucking everybody.
Yeah, he says his one line that Moon has given him.
You are one, we are many. And Cassie, being Cassie, replies with, I am many plus one. And Ermac very suddenly replies with like a sped up voice clip, like sounds like a gerbil of him saying, we are many plus infinity, beat that, or something like that. There's like a very rare chance you'll get that as the dialogue line between Cassie and Ermac.
I wish Ermac was written better.
Yeah.
I wish Ermac wasn't dead first things first, but once he's alive again, I wish he was written better.
I don't think Ermac's dead.
I mean, not anymore, no. He died in MK11, and he's going to be resurrected in MK12 because we need fodder.
Yeah. Someone's got to replace Baraka.
And it can't be Baraka again.
Yeah. There is no one I feel worse for in the Mortal Kombat community than Baraka fans.
I mean, I'm really well liked by Ed Boon because my three characters in Mortal Kombat are Kano, Baraka, and Ermac, so...
At least Kano gets dialogue.
Yeah, at least Kano sometimes gets dialogue before eating shit.
Yeah. Like, Ermac says the same line. Baraka, 90% of Baraka's lines are, I'll eat your skin, superhuman, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Like, Kano at least gets his one-liners, you know?
I don't know, oh, bloody hell. I don't think I ever saw the MK11 story, but no, I did see a part of it, but not the whole thing, so I didn't see how Kano dies. In MKX, I think the only line of his I remember is someone paid more for killing Kotal, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then he eats shit and dies.
You know what? You gotta add Kotal to the lineup there.
Nah,
are you discreetly a Kotal fan and you just never told me?
No, I don't like his mechanics or his design particularly, but yeah, that. I say I don't like his design. I still prefer his normal design to without the paint. But yeah, I mean, like looking at the new characters in NetherRealm, I will take Kotal over Devora, or the Combat Kids. Honestly,
man.
With my biggest thing with the MK roster right now is, it's fine that people don't want many ninjas because there are too many of them, really. I mean, Shemmer exists. We have too many ninjas, but
if we count the robot ninjas and the female ninjas, how many ninjas are there?
Oh boy, I don't count the robot ninjas because they don't exist to me, but
you keep talking and I'll start counting.
All right, but yeah, like my thing is like now, NetherRealm is actually taking like feedback regarding that, and they are trying to not have half of the roster be ninjas like Ultimate MK3. At the same time, instead of replacing the ninjas with interesting characters, it's just army person. And yeah,
okay, not counting Triborg, 18.
Boy, we do have too many ninjas. But yeah, so like, yeah, that's my thing. Like, I can understand. I personally like the ninjas, but I can understand why people don't want all of them in every game because holy shit, 18 characters. But at the same time, I feel like we're having the same problem with the freaking army people, and they're not really all that different either. At least, like design wise, like not fighting design wise, just character design wise and story wise. They blend together to me.
I don't know what happened in Mortal Kombat X that made them be like, you know what, this cast needs more Michael Bay.
Yeah, because if it was new characters, well, I wouldn't know about that either. Just because when we got new characters,
Oh god, I didn't count Takeda. With Takeda, it's 19.
I don't.
Or Takeda, excuse me.
Yeah, he is a member of the Shirai Ryu. You are right. I forgot.
And in the one variation, he gets a mask.
Well, if you can't anyone with a mask, then bloody hell.
And I'm not going to count Aaron Black as a ninja, but they very clearly in Mortal Kombat X intended for you to look at him and be like, oh, cowboy ninja.
Yeah,
His
kinda.
mask, he definitely has a strong resemblance to the ninjas.
Yeah.
Like, I think just about everyone will agree that the winners out of the new cast from Mortal Kombat X were Kotal and Aaron, you know?
Yeah.
Which apparently, so Ed Boon also agreed because they were 2 out of the only 5 to return from X.
Yeah, and we got Devora killing everyone because it's him to fuck bees.
Man, I don't hate the combat kids like everyone else does. I quite like Cassie, and everyone likes Takeda, right? Nobody dislikes Takeda.
I don't like the kid. I'm fine with him because like sometimes I play him, but I don't like any of the combat kids' characterizations. I don't like their personalities.
Oh. Cassie's kind of a little way they get to have young Johnny around without having young Johnny, you know? Honestly, because like old Johnny, like he's mature now and he's a responsible person. But we all love young Johnny being a dumbass dick.
I don't like I don't like young Johnny either. That's the thing.
What?
Yeah.
Young Johnny's the best.
I don't like young Johnny Cage. Like I'm fine with Johnny. Like it's weird because I don't like young dumbass Johnny Cage in freaking MK9 and before, but like I'm fine with old Johnny Cage having like slips back into being a dumbass. like that works for me. I'm fine with him trying to be a better person, but also sometimes he rips people's chest open and says, "Here's Johnny." Like that works for me, but not him actually just doing that shit 24/7. It's weird.
To me, young Johnny is kind of Mortal Kombat's Dan, but you can take him a little more seriously.
But yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think out of the combat kids, like Kung Jin and Jackie both have potential, but they keep getting squandered.
Yeah, Kung Jin needs some redesign, like fighting wise, and also better writers. Definitely the second part.
And a better design.
Yeah, that too.
I don't think that like weird crown mask design it works for anyone.
I always hate when yeah.
I just wanted to say real quick. I always hated when Beth Phoenix wrestled wearing the crown like that back in the day, the tiara, you know.
Yeah. Well, the thing Kung Jin has is I think his actual like archer headwear that's supposed to protect the face and the oh bloody hell, I'm forgetting the name of the body part. The head, basically, it's supposed to protect the head from arrows, if I remember correctly.
Ah, okay. Still looks a bit dopey.
Yeah, it does. So like it makes sense. It makes sense. He's an archer character, so archer garb and shit. But I mean, the archer, the bow staff didn't work out.
Yeah, they definitely could have done some cooler moves with it. And Jackie, the obvious thing to say is like they taunted us with an Aegis reflector, but didn't actually give it to us. You know?
Yeah.
She only uses it for a super, which is really dumb.
You know,
it would actually be.
Go ahead.
It would actually be really interesting if her super, she didn't do a cutscene super like everybody else. She just planted down the Aegis reflector.
Ah, yeah.
But the thing is, that would be really cool and interesting. That's what Capcom did in Street Fighter 3. That's just actually how they handled the Aegis Reflector.
Yeah, that is just real as Aegis Reflector, and that's it.
Oh, fuck.
I feel like Mortal Kombat could benefit from an ninja character who technically has like weapons, as in like bracers, but fight with their hands.
I mean, lots of Mortal Kombat characters just fight with their hands. Liu Kang doesn't use weapons most of the time.
But
he whips out the nunchucks every other game for some goddamn reason, but other than that...
I need to remind you that he's supposed to be Bruce Lee. Otherwise, how will you know?
Yeah, how will you know? Just random bicycle kick noises.
Yeah.
It never gets better than Raiden's noise, though. That's a thing.
Yeah. Right. I had an idea. So
what?
MK12. Raiden's super move is replaced with a cutscene that mechanically works the exact same way as Faust's freaking 1,000 years of pain, but it's Raiden goes away from the fight to consult the other gods, and then if they move favorably, then they just smite the opponent.
But if the opponent picks the right chest, they smite Raiden instead.
Yes.
Oh, man. You know what they should do? They should bring back Jarek. And everyone gets one fatality they can use on Jarek that's the same, but only on Jarek. Where they throw Jarek off a cliff and Jarek does the, I'm so gay!
No, I feel
Jarek, like, this is a brute fatality.
Fatality. But yeah, I feel like they would make that like a stage fatality if they brought him back.
What if they made a stage, it's on a cliff, and Jericho's just in the background, and the stage fatality, if you input it, your character misses and instead does the stage fatality to Jarek?
Yes. Sure, why not?
And it just cuts back to your main guy going like, wait, what?
As to how is that for some reason? For the 4th time this week.
He uppercuts Jarek off the cliff, and Jarek lands on Suhao.
Yeah, no, Jarek lands on Suhao's body. I'm imagining Suhao is impaled, and there's like a spike pit, and Jarek falls into the spike pit right on top of Suhao.
Okay, do you remember in Mortal Kombat X they had the stage brutality where you could throw the grandma at the opponent, and if you... Obviously, there's the one where if you did the input, you'd beat them to death. But do you remember the one where if you threw the grandma, both her and the opponent would just explode into gore?
Yes.
They should do that with Suhao. I love the idea. I do just love the idea of a fatality where your character ignores their opponent entirely and kills someone in the background.
I mean, that's the only logical step now.
It's like, why would you even have had the match then if you were just going to kill that guy?
Yeah.
That's the kind of stupid fighting game bullshit I love.
But you know, I did actually have an idea for a crossover character, because we were talking about that earlier for Injustice. Shujinko.
Shut up. Oh, okay. Actually, here's the thing.
Yeah?
The trouble with the DC Mortal Kombat crossover is that the Mortal Kombat characters are killers and the DC characters aren't. Why did they not have Johnny get brought over? Because Johnny is the only Mortal Kombat character who, in the story, does not kill.
Yeah, they could have brought Johnny over, or pre-9 Liu Kang. Because technically, I don't think Liu Kang killed before he died. After he died, probably. Not before he died.
Zombie Liu Kang killed the fuck out of some people. hang on. Human Liu Kang had the dragon fatality. You got to remember that one where he eats his opponent.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, time portal. We get Mortal Kombat 1 Liu Kang. And he doesn't kill people.
Hang on. Here's one thing that always bothered me about the Liu Kang dragon fatality. I want to get this out there before we move on to anything else and probably wrap up the podcast.
Yeah.
It really bugs me that he turns giant, eats his opponent, and then turns small again. Do you remember how Marvel Zombies handled Hulk?
I don't think I ever actually read Marvel Zombies.
So Zombie Hulk eats someone whole. He like swallows them whole. Because he's Hulk, right? He's big enough to do that.
Yeah, he's the Incredible Hulk.
But then he turns into Zombie Banner. And Zombie Banner is, less than half Zombie Hulk's size.
Yeah.
So his stomach just explodes.
Oh.
And Zombie Hulk spends the rest of the story like missing his midsection.
Nice.
Like he is an upper half, a spine, and then a lower half. Which makes no sense because Hulk regenerates, but shut up, it's Marvel Zombies.
I mean, if Hulk regenerates, he wouldn't be a zombie.
Yeah. Well, that was always the stupid fucking thing about Marvel Zombies.
Yeah,
like
Zombie Wolverine is Zombie Deadpool.
What's worse? Zombie Luke Cage.
Oh.
Motherfucker literally cannot be wounded. How can he get bit? Like, it's a character whose entire fundamental thing is he's invincible.
Writing.
And this circles back around to Injustice 1, believe it or not. Because did you crack open that options menu?
No.
Did you see the option at the bottom of the menu?
Which one?
Zombie mode.
Oh yeah, I never checked it out.
That was the fucking pre-order bonus.
Oh.
You want to talk about lame pre-order bonuses? Like your pre-order bonus might as well be fucking big head mode. Like, Jesus. I remember Mortal Kombat 9, the pre-order bonus was the classic costumes for the ninjas. It doesn't really compare, does it?
Not really, no.
Oh, fuck. Alrighty then. So, Injustice 1, it's a very distinctly flawed game. It's got different flaws than the other NetherRealm games. They worked out the kinks in the gameplay, which is nice, but they introduced all that grind bullshit. Grind for your fatality tokens and your new Batman masks, and it's like, I'd rather not. Shit. So, what game should we do next? I feel like, since they extended the rollback beta for Guilty Gear, I feel like we gotta go with that.
Yeah, we could.
And then we do it again when they bring out the proper implementation.
Yeah. But hey, assuming that things are gonna go better, at least this time I will actually be able to play freaking XX. So
yeah. I wonder if our shit experience before they added rollback was because of the delay-based netcode or because of me artificially frame capping all apps.
It might have been because of you artificially frame capping all apps. Because even with good connection, it defaults to the lowest possible, or the worst possible thing, so it can keep it stable. But who knows?
Yeah, I don't exactly know how it works.
Man, I read something funny recently. I saw people complaining about Xords in netcode, which, whatever, But the main thing is, like, people were calling them out on it because this guy complained that he has like 12 frames of lag with people who live in the same state, because his friends are on Wi-Fi, and you know we had a 6 frame connection through the freaking ocean, and you were on Wi-Fi. But still, it's the Wi-Fi that's the issue. The delay-based netcode can only do so much. I mean, it's flawed, anyways, but still, Wi-Fi.
Well, my PS4 was right next to the router. Is the thing.
I don't think space really freaking changes it that much. Like, you need stability for delay-based netcode, and Wi-Fi just is just less stable overall. At
Yeah,
least from what I
Wi-Fi is
understand.
definitely very unstable. I mean, it's one of those things of rollback is that like no matter what, people are going to be. It's one of those things where like if you're in a private match with somebody and you're repeatedly playing with that one person, like that person is responsible for how strong their connection is on some level. But like there are some cases where the person's hand is forced somehow that they have to get Wi-Fi because there just like isn't an Ethernet cable in that room. There are some cases where, well, the internet connection is just shit out there. Like if you live out in Wisconsin, good fucking luck. Some people can't afford, having a proper connection like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's understandable that some people just have to be on Wi-Fi. The thing that makes it funny to me is the guy was complaining about Exer's netcode because of this, because his friends can like have no access to better internet, and that's somehow Guilty Gear's fault, I guess.
Well, I don't see the problem there because it like delay based works just fine as long as you've both got really really strong connections. That's why Japan doesn't really get the whole deal with rollback because Japan has a very strong internet infrastructure.
Yeah,
So delay based works fine for them because they're sticking to like 2 or 3 frames of delay.
yeah, that GGPO not being translated, which I keep bringing that up because I thought it was a big thing, and then I recently learned about how there were a lot of freaking issues in Japan in the 7th gen, because apparently the Unreal Engine 3 um like
Oh yeah.
stuff wasn't translated, and apparently shit not being translated to Japanese makes it so things just don't work. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they're around the time Capcom started switching everything from oh shit, what was the engine they made for Dead Rising?
I don't
Fuck.
remember.
Because like for a good while everything ran on like Desk Engine or that engine they designed for Dead Rising, which its name escapes me. Something works, whatever. And at some point Capcom was like, okay, everybody switched to Unreal Engine 3 or Unreal Engine 4, and that was a big problem for a lot of studios.
So yeah, like whenever we bring up the whole like, Japanese devs don't have rollback, I mean rollback wasn't translated to Japanese relatively recently, so
Ha!
give them some time to actually adapt before you tell them to adapt, because Google Translate isn't good. Like I, I've got to assume that it would be hard for someone who doesn't actually speak English to use Google Translate to an extent that freaking like software development would require. That being said, with some games, there is blame to be had. Uh, I don't remember which one. There was a smallish indie game, or I call it an indie game because I never heard of it, but it's probably just like an obscure Japanese fighting game that got announced recently. And yeah, that still has delay based netcode, and now they don't really have a means to or they don't really have an excuse, is what I'm trying to say.
If they're early enough in the dev cycle that they can still just implement it, like if they're still really building the game from the ground up, then yeah.
I mean, last I heard, they were if I'm not mixing the games up, then last I heard they were looking for like fan feedback on what the round start blurb should be. So going by that, they have time to implement rollback.
We'll also have to see are they going to even release it in the States?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Because if they don't intend for it to go outside of Japan, then there's no reason to add rollback. Or well, there is, because not everyone in Japan has a perfect connection, but most people in Japan do.
Yeah.
I feel like I heard
yeah.
Daigo was complaining about delay-based netcode recently. No, I'm probably making that up. My brain's probably making that up.
Who knows? We misremember things a lot, so
Is the recording still going?
yeah.
Okay, let me throw this out there. If there is one old fighting game that you could have this, because like we've had this sudden surprise, like, oh shit, KOF 2002 is getting rollback. Oh shit, Guilty Gear X2 is getting rollback. If there is one game that does not have rollback that you would like to see them come out with a new version or add rollback to the old version, what would it be?
I don't know. I have a couple of answers immediately, because on one hand I could just say Revelator 2, because I really like Revelator 2, and I would like to actually be able to play it with more than just you. But at the same time, it's not really an older game, and like I can can just get adjusted to take an excellent core, so doesn't really change a lot. On the other hand, well, actually, now that I think about it, that's already happened, I think. But yeah, Heritage for the Future.
Heritage for the Future. Oh, JoJo,
Yeah,
right.
JoJo. I wouldn't mind that getting rollback, but from what I remember, the last release on PS3 did actually have rollback. It's just
right, because it was handled by not Double Helix, but the other guys that did KI.
I don't know their names, but yeah.
Yeah, the guys who put rollback in for Street Fighter 3 and Darkstalkers as well.
So yeah, that already had rollback, so I guess it doesn't count, even though I wouldn't mind a re-release. So I guess it is option 3 then. Basara Cross.
Yeah. For me, the one I'd pull for hardest, and I know it'd be a bit of a problem with licensing, though SNK is being a lot more liberal with their license
CVS
lately.
2, yeah.
I would love to see a rollback release of CVS 2 on the PS4 and PS5.
Yeah, I would like that too. Now you say it, I was just like, oh well, what obscure dead thing can I revive with this? and like, there's only so much more obscure stuff that I know that's not Basara Cross, because yeah, I mean technically I do know one game that's more obscure. Because have you ever heard of Soul Eater Battle Resonance?
No?
It is exclusive to freaking PS2 and PSP.
Ha!
I think it also might have only been released in Japan. So yeah.
Oh man, it's the what was I going to say? It also gets into the thing of like they already did do the rollback ports for, well, all the rollback ports that we just talked about, and I can't see them bringing back Third Strike Online Edition because that game, like, the arcade collection already includes Third Strike, even if it's not got all of Online Edition's features,
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if it's a licensing issue, if like the online editions for Darkstalkers and Heritage for the Future are partially owned by not Double Helix. Fuck, I'm gonna look it up. But like, I would think it would have been really easy for them to port that stuff over. But at the same time, what do I know?
Yeah, maybe it's a thing of the rights, but the thing is, like, now that we have GGPO, it shit. I think Heritage for the Future used GGPO.
I think they all use GGPO. Hang on, let me Google GGPO, because I feel like a lot of the Capcom GGPO was okay. Online, Third Strike Online Edition did. Darkstalkers Resurrection did.
I think I
Ah,
might have been mixing it up with Darkstalkers Resurrection because I did watch footage of it recently.
Resurrection does. Okay, that's just. It doesn't use GGPO, but hang on. Let me see if it uses Resurrection. I mean, if it uses if it uses generic rollback. Uh, it doesn't look like it did.
Hmm. Maybe I was wrong then.
Weird. Huh. Okay, let me pull up the name of the studio that did that. Iron Galaxy, right, Iron Galaxy. So, what is Iron Galaxy working under? Let me see. The thing that Iron Galaxy most recently worked on Extinction as an independent game. Hang on, are they working in any ports? Oh, well, they handled the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Inspire Reignited Trilogy for Windows, and the Overwatch port to Switch.
Ah,
Weird. Yeah, it seems they've just kind of been relegated to port jobs. That's unfortunate.
yeah.
And the other thing is like they also did Marvel vs. Capcom Origins, which was Marvel Superheroes 1 and MVC 1. And I know they'll have a hard fucking time getting their hands on the Marvel license ever again, especially after Infinite. But I mean, oh fuck, you know?
Put Captain Commando in freaking Street Fighter 6. just just put him into SF6.
Yeah. Why can't we get more old games that have For Honor had rollback?
What?
For Honor is listed as a fighting game that has rollback.
I suppose it did then.
It did, because I do remember rollback things would happen sometimes when we were fighting laggy opponents.
Hmm.
You know what? I can definitely remember there were one or two times where I ate a hit to the face and then rollback kicked in and I didn't.
Ah, yeah. You're right. I remember that as well. Well, I remember it being on the other side. I remember hitting people and then suddenly I'm not hitting them.
Oh, that's weird. That's not how rollback works. Or did it change from them eating it to them blocking it?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's the problem with For Honor having rollback. Is like you required split second reactions on the blocking there, whereas in like Street Fighter, like it wouldn't really the rollback wouldn't really matter in Street Fighter because 90% of the time they're just going to block low, you know.
Yeah.
Like anything that comes out overhead in most fighting game, shut the fuck up. The Street Fighter 3 30th anniversary collection has rollback.
Yeah, I think it does. I haven't been able to test it myself, but and from what I heard, it's not good, but I think it does.
What platform do you own the 30th anniversary collection on?
PS4.
Fuck, I need to buy that.
I don't have a Switch.
Yeah, I know. I'm cool with owning 2 copies of that. I'm perfectly cool with owning 2 copies of the 30th anniversary collection. The 30th anniversary collection is rad.
I just wish. Okay,
Well, I mean, yeah, we can
yeah.
wish that it came with, Third Strike Online Edition and Alpha EX, but,
Yeah.
like, what is the only platform where you can get Alpha on with the, all the shit they added?
I think like PS2 or GameCube. Freaking
Like,
Mega
okay,
Drive. Not like, oh, what was that Sega system called?
okay, so the best version of Street Fighter 3 Alpha, or Street Fighter Alpha 3, is Alpha 3 Max on PSP, which is the only one that features Ingrid.
Ah,
But I don't think either of us would be particularly upset there. But if you want Eagle, Maki, or Yun, which I would definitely, the only versions that have Eagle, Maki, and Yun are the GBA and PSP versions.
so
Fucking
I played the PSP version back then. Makes sense, I
Oh man.
guess. Not the PSP, the GBA, but yeah.
Oh.
Uh, anyway.
Hmm.
So I guess we're doing X and Core again then.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, fighting games were.
Yeah.